Hi, my name is Dick Jones. I'm the tax problem guy. I solve tax problems for a living. This is the first of a series of videos that I'm going to make on solving tax problems. Number one, you have to sit down and see where you are with your income taxes and your payroll taxes and see if there's any way that you can get out. What I mean by that is, can you cut spending? Can you turn this thing around and pay them in installments? Or what do you need to do to solve the problem? First and foremost, you need to make sure that you have filed all of the taxes that are due, all of your individual taxes, all of your payroll taxes, and if you have estimated payments due, that you have those filed as well. That's step number one in solving a tax problem. The next thing you need to do is sit down with a pencil and paper and see where your money is going. Is it going on a bunch of credit card debt? Is it going through just not making enough money to pay all the bills? What exactly and where is it going? Can you cut some expenses? Can you consolidate some bills to make it work and pay IRS a small payment? If that's not possible, then you're probably looking at something called an offer in compromise. Well, let's say you sat down with all of your tax debt and you say you've got $50,000 worth of tax debt. Next thing you need to do is you need to look and see how much income you've got left over. Take your house payment, your utilities, your truck payment, your car payment, whatever payments that you might have going out, and put them down on a piece of paper. Now, one thing you need to remember is if you've got, let's say, $300 or $400 going out in credit card payments, if you're going to file an offer in compromise, credit card payments do not count. So let's say you come up with a break-even point. You've got $3,000 in income for the month. You've got $3,000 going out in expenses a month. But of that $3,000, let's say 300 of it is credit card payments. Well, if nothing else, you multiply those $300 times 48 months, and whatever that number is, that is what you're going to have to pay IRS if you file an offer in compromise. So even though you may have your money all exhausted, you've got to look at what IRS is going to say that you can spend. Another thing that is not allowable in an offer in compromise is your payments to the church. I think that's a shame. I think IRS should change that. But as right now, if you tithe to the church another $100 on top of your $300, so now you've got $400 in payments that you got going out that IRS will not accept. So now you've got 400 times the 48 months. So you're up to about $19,200 for an offer in compromise. And then you've got to add on the assets that you might have. So I'm not telling you how to do an offer in compromise here. We're talking about the beginning step of sitting down, analyzing your problem, and see what you can do. You're better off, let's say you've got some equity in your house, of borrowing the money to pay IRS than you are to try to deal with them, if you can possibly pay it off. If you can't pay it off, then you've got a different problem and you need to deal with what you call a tax problem, and that is either by doing a payment plan, by doing an offer in compromise, putting it in a non-collectible status, doing a partial pay installment account. There's many things that IRS will do, but you got to know where you're going. So first of all, to recap, you have to make sure that you filed all of your taxes that are supposed to be filed. You need to be sure that you sit down with a budget and see where you can cut and what you can do. After all of that's done, then you have to be sure that you have the dedication going forward to make sure that you continue to file your taxes and pay them as you're supposed to, so you don't get any farther in debt. If you do an offer in compromise and it's successful, then you have to stay straight for 5 years, or what you've done is for naught. So plan your road of action, Make sure that all of your taxes are filed and will be continued to file, and then sit down with pencil and paper and see where you go. That's our first tip on tax problems. You can get more information at taxproblemguide.com on the net, or you can call me at 573-341-5578. Thank you.